Open up. Okay.
Am I unmuted? Okay, good. Hi. Hello, everybody, and welcome tonight. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Shelby Wagner, and I have been an advocate with Green Compass for just under 2 years. And I have the honor and privilege of hosting tonight with Miss Lindsay Gray, who has been an advocate for just over 2 years now at this point. So we are so excited that you are taking some time out of your day to hang out with us, whether it's live on the call or watching the replay. We're so excited that you could take a minute to just see what we're about here. So before we get too far into this, we want to share what is Green Compass and who are we? Why do we matter, right? So Green Compass is a hemp-based company. We've also recently gotten into the functional mushroom space, and it all began from a mother's love. Our founder and CEO, Meredith Cook, actually got started in the world of CBD and hemp in her postpartum journey. So she was struggling with some postpartum depression, and somebody mentioned to her that if you use CBD, it seems to really help. So she obtained some CBD from somebody, and she was shocked when it was really helping her, postpartum symptoms and just a bunch of other things, right? But then she noticed when she would go back and order another bottle that it looked different or it smelled different or it didn't work as good as the one before it or whatever it may be. And so then she started getting curious. She started asking the right questions, right? She was like, okay, if this works so well for me and it could work well for other people, how do I make something that's more consistent? How do I make sure that I can honestly recommend this product, not just for myself and my own family, but for people around me, and that every time you're going to get the same results? It's always going to be something that you can rely on. So thus Green Compass was born, right? So we are, and I'm kind of just going to jump around on this slide a little bit. I'm going to first start talking about that we are vertically integrated. So what that means is when Meredith set out to get started, she knew sixth generation farmers in the state of North Carolina, and they approached them and started talking to them about how could we make these products but make them better, right? And so the farmers in North Carolina were like, yes, sign us up. And so then all of a sudden Green Compass owns its own farm. Then once they plant everything, they harvest it all themselves. They do so much of this by hand. It's absolutely crazy. And when Lindsay jumps on, she can talk about it a little bit because she got to go see the farm. But they do so much of it by hand and they put so much love into the cultivation of the plants. And then from there, it moves into our own like manufacturing labs. So Green Compass owns their own manufacturing labs. So they are the ones that helped grow it. With all the farmers, they bring it in, they do all of their extractions, which you'll see here we do CO2 extraction process. Extraction can happen in a lot of different ways in the cannabis industry, but CO2 is what they say is arguably the cleanest way to do it. No harsh chemicals, no hydrocarbons, no anything like that. So that's how we do our extractions at the manufacturing level. And then from there, we do all of our own bottling and all of that stuff. So the only time from the time the plant goes into the ground to the till it gets to your house that it is not in the hands of a Green Compass like owned facility is when it goes to our third party lab testing, which for me when I was first looking into this business alongside Lindsay, the idea of third party lab testing was extremely important to me. That means that they are sending it off to another lab to have things tested like for microbes or pesticides or heavy metals or things like that. And that's really important because hemp is what they call a mop crop. So wherever it's planted, it has a tendency to absorb everything that goes into the soil around it. So if, a farmer up the road a couple of miles is using pesticides on their product, but the rainwater washes it downstream and it ends up in on your plot of land, it's going to end up in your final product. And there's a lot of companies, if you start doing your research, you'll notice that they don't provide what we call third-party C of A's. They may do some in-house testing or they may do no testing at all. Or some people like to say, yeah, we do testing, and they tested the first batch that they ever made. They link it on their website and then they say, go on about your business. We can make a million more batches. And Green Compass was like, that's not going to fly for us. So we actually, and I'm going to hold up my six can here, but all of our products have a QR code on them. So like this one is the one on the six, but every other product, I don't have any more around me right now, but on the bottom of the product is a QR code that will link you directly to that batch's C of A. So you can see that there are no pesticides, there are no heavy metals, there are no anything on our mushroom products. You can actually see the beta glucans. Oh, there, Lindsay has it. You can see on the bottom of all of our products, there's a QR code, so you can see your individual batch that you own in your house. Um, my train of thought just like went completely out the window. But anyway, when we do all of our extractions, we only use the hemp flower. So a lot of places will do extraction on everything. You'll see on a lot of other products aerial parts. If you see that on your CBD, it just means that they are using the entire plant, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but for a lot of people, it's quality over quantity. And because we don't function like that, we would rather only use the bud, the part that has the most benefit. We only use the hemp flower for that. Oh, going back to what we were talking about the heavy metals and the testing labs and stuff like that. We took it a step further. We are, you can see here, USDA certified organic, but we took it a step further as a company, and the soil, including the 5 mile radius around the farm, is also USDA certified organic. And that is to ensure, like I said, that the farm, up the road isn't contaminating something that you're doing on your own property. And then this kind of just leads into there's a whole slew of products. Lindsay just lifted up a bunch that she had sitting there. I had some sitting here. So it's important to know that there's something here for absolutely everybody. If you have a spine, you can benefit from CBD. You, your children, your dog, even. We have a line of pet treats, pet tinctures, things like that. But we also have full spectrum CBD, broad spectrum CBD. So something for somebody who's worried about a drug test, we can still help them out. The functional mushrooms are something that can help out a ton of people that is currently underutilized, but starting to get talked about a lot. Um, we have digestive jellies, we have different modes of administration, we have topicals, we have all sorts of different things. So when I say that there is absolutely something for everybody with this company, you are not stuck just talking to the person who's not worried about a drug test. So that's just a little bit about Green Compass and who we are, why we matter, and why we stand out against the competition. And now I'm going to hand it over to Lindsay so she can share a little bit about why being an advocate is so wonderful. And I think we're going to do it a little Cabo style tonight, aren't we?
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm sitting here, you guys, every time that I do the call and I don't talk first, I am like bubbling with excitement until it gets to me so that I can just share because, and I want you to know, and I hope that if there's one thing you get from me in this presentation, in this, like I am all about educated decisions. Whatever information you take tonight, take it, make the best educated decision for you. It doesn't need to be the same decision that I would make, but it's an educated decision. And if there's anything that I can, and can give you tonight energetically, it's that I want you to know 1000% that if I didn't believe in something with my whole heart and soul, I wouldn't be able to bubble up with excitement the way I do when I'm about to share about this company and this business. So my name is Lindsay Gray. I've been in this space in the online world since 2013. I was actually a hairstylist and I traveled for hair shows. And I thought that my life, I was going to be working behind the chair until I was 70 years old. And I just didn't have any other options. I went to college for 2 years. Just I'm a right-brained girl and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I find it crazy that we have to decide so young what we want to do for the rest of our lives. And that's the key part is that we don't, but we're told that we do. There's so many things that we're told that we need to do or suggested heavily that we should do that really, you guys, we can always choose again. We can always expand. We can always learn something new and we can always make our own path. And there's no wrong path. So for me, in 2013, I was introduced to a health and wellness business that was similar to this. And I remember I was pregnant. I was struggling at the time with disordered eating, and I was pregnant, and I was really, really trying to get a hold on that. And this woman came up, and she was actually at the gym. I was going to the gym. I couldn't afford to go anymore, and she told me to follow her on Facebook. And I followed her on Facebook, and I saw her start talking about how she had completely changed her life with this health and fitness. She had found fun. She had found the ability to get results, and with that, she had also created a business. And I'm thinking, I don't know what you're doing over there, but I don't trust a thing that you're saying. And I just kept watching her and I kept watching her. And one day I got really mad. I got really mad because I was pregnant. It was my first time I was pregnant. I was always one of those girls who thought, like, because I wanted to get pregnant so bad, I think this is a fear of all of us women these days, especially because I had my first at 29. So I was always afraid that I waited too long. I wasn't going to be able to. My biological clock was ticking. So I was pregnant. I was battling these inner demons of dist of disordered eating, and I also was battling this idea that I was going to have this precious baby boy, and I was going to want to do everything I could to provide and raise him, and I was going to work my butt off while I watched other people raise him, and it was going to eat me alive. And I just knew that that was not going to be the life for me. I was working as a hairstylist, great money. I was senior stylist. I was fine financially, but for me, it was that I had him in September of 2013, and in December of 2013, his first Christmas party was the Saturday before Christmas, and my mother-in-law, because majority of the family could make it, had Christmas on the Saturday before Christmas, and I had to work. And my son had his first Christmas party with our family at 3 months old, and I was at work. And that lit a fire inside of me that had never been lit before, in a way of like, that girl that I'm watching is no different than me, except she knows something that I don't. So I need to find out what she knows. And so I connected with her. I jumped in. She told me, do this. I said, let's go. And a year and a half later, I was able to walk away with a six-figure earning income, which took me beyond, and that was in 2015, up until just a few years ago when that said business was taking a turn. When that business took a turn, I was scared because I was also in a spot in my life where I was going through a divorce. I was redefining myself as a woman, redefining myself as a human, figuring out who the heck I was again, redefining myself as a mother, and trying to give myself permission to still have the life that we live because we homeschool now. I have two boys, they're 12 and 8, and I knew that I wasn't going to let this shift my trajectory to where I didn't want to go. Of course, I do work very part-time outside of the home now. After 10 years or 12 years of working for myself, I work with my friends that I absolutely love so much. It's 10 to 20 hours a week sometimes, and it actually fuels me where my life is now. Where before I was working because I had to, I'm now just working outside of the home because I want to. And there's a major difference in that. So now it fuels me in a community space after being home. But that's a whole other story. So for me, I actually was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm watching this thing go down. I haven't worked for anyone but myself for 10 years. I haven't done hair for that long besides my kids. What am I going to do? And across my social media, once again, was somebody who was talking about a product that had saved her as far as anxiety was going, and she had turned it into a business. And I was like, I've seen this. I've seen this story before, right? Like deja vu. This happened to me 10 years ago. I'm supposed to pay attention. Of course, it just happened to be one of my best friends that was also saying that. And I knew the battle of anxiety and deep, deep feelings that she has battled for so long. So I reached out, and because at that time I wasn't really telling a lot of people, but there were many nights that I was crying on my kitchen floor, and my then 9 or 10-year old's arms would find their way around me, and he'd be comforting me, and I'd be sitting there thinking, I'm such a horrible mom. I'm supposed to be comforting him. He's not supposed to be comforting me. And I had all of these things that were just attacking me, that were not allowing me to be. My best friend of 20 years tells me I'm a firework. I like that. Cabo firework. I got to bring Cabo in here, and I will. But she's like, you, it's not that you don't shine, you always do, but I can always tell when you're more of a sparkler or you're more of something. And that's not bad, right? But there was this time that I was just dim and I was crying at myself to sleep, and I would wake up with heart palpitations, and financial stress was something that could make me feel like I was going to be sick at the drop of a dime. And I was trying to buy my house off out and it was hard. So I saw this, I tried the products. I felt a difference within a week, and I'm not a THC user. I want to put that out there right now. I'm not against it. I used to be, I just am not anymore. But so when people were like, "Oh, you're going to sling CBD or this or that," I'm like, "No, it is saving me as a mother. I can see my kids clearly. I can laugh with them a real laugh. I'm not faking it to make it to bedtime anymore. I'm happy. I'm connecting with humans again. I feel alive. And if this is bad, then I don't ever want to be good again, right? I don't ever want to be right. So I started with things that didn't have the THC in it, and it changed me so quickly. I felt an immediate shift within the week. And then as I continued on throughout my first 3 months, I ventured into the 0.3% THC, which still is not a psychoactive effect, but to me, I was sensitive. It gave me a little bit more Zen. It's what I use now. And now I even venture into these lovely little babies. They have 4 milligrams of THC and 8 grams or 8 milligrams of CBG, which gives you this really like, yes, uplifted vibe. I only drink half because if I drink a full one, my cheeks and my legs disappear. But Shelby can have a couple. It all depends on your tolerance and what you participate in. But it's so nice to know that I'm having something that when I have it, I know exactly what I'm going to get every single time. And so for me, I started in within 3 months, I felt a huge difference. I felt a shift in my life like I hadn't before. And what I said when I started here is when I feel authentically excited and alive about something, I cannot help but let it bubble up and out. And I was able to walk away from my previous income that was going down, 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 that was a six-figure income, and replace it here almost fully in 4 weeks and then fully in 8 weeks. And I bawled my eyes out on the kitchen floor for a completely other reason because I was so grateful. And doing this in an hour to 2 hours a day, not having to change my life, my kids' life was so big. So for me, it's about that. It is about helping the everyday human where none of us are getting out alive. None of us are getting out without stress, helping us all to be able to just enjoy the moments more, to enjoy our partners more, to enjoy our kids more. On top of that, be able to feel less financially stressed because it's 2025 and everything is financially insane. And then on top of that, Cabo style, bring in a community and you guys, a community like you've never met before, that you've never felt before in your life. Where I came from before, the owners, the CEOs, I mean, if I walked by, they may or may not have known. I was one of the top in the company. They may or may not have known who I really was, right? Where here, I walk in and Shelby and I walk in and there's, oh my gosh, we're just given so much. We're spoiled when we're there. We've got this, they gave us this bag. First of all, we earned Cabo 100% earned, flight earned. Then it wasn't all inclusive. So we got an extra $100 to spend at the hotel. Plus, when we got there, we got to pick out a bag. They put our initials on it right there in front of us and so many other things. They take care of you with the food, and it was so nice and just above and beyond. And right away, our founder and her husband by first name everybody, and they're trying to talk to everyone, and they're so grateful for you. And you just walk around like all of us are a family. And there's so many times where people are like, this is this whole concept of network marketing or MLM or whatever people want to call it is very something that just immediately makes people want to say no. And the reason is because it's misunderstood and they don't have the education. That's also why I said in the beginning of when I started talking, I'm all about an educated decision. A lot of people make a decision based on opinions opposed to education. And when you look at 2025 and you look at the fact that the average household needs an additional $12,000 to $18,000 to live the exact same way they did 2 years ago. And people aren't getting raises. Actually, AI is taking over jobs. People aren't getting raises. Actually, businesses are going out. Where's the extra money coming from? Who's going to give you the raise? And what a beautiful thing that we live in a time where small businesses want to support small businesses, hustling moms want to support hustling, women and dads and even anybody. And we want to support each other because we're all just out here trying to feel better as we make it through this life as alive as we can for as long as we can, right? So this is just such a vibrant space to be. So let's actually talk about what I'm supposed to talk about now. Why the business opportunity? I feel like in my story, I pretty much wrap up a lot of, oh, I almost fell backwards. That would have been fun. A lot of why, but let's talk about specifically why Green Compass, because there are a lot of options out there. Shelby could have picked a different space. I could have picked a different space. Jocelyn could have picked a different space. So many of us could have, but I guarantee you none of us, and I can speak for us confidently, none of us would have had the success and the contentment and the happiness that we do in this space for all the reasons that I've already mentioned. Number one, though, this is still considered a ground level opportunity. We're in our 6th year. We hit that S curve in year 5 and started scaling, and it's been amazing. We have an annual growth rate of 21%, and our industry is projected to hit 47 billion by 2028, and that is, I believe, like what was it? Is I think it's like 40 billion in growth. Like it is supposed to be huge. In the next 5 years, the growth is so huge that even if you're just here sharing with your friends and family and just having a safe space to go, because 2020 opened up our eyes that we needed to be able to take holistic measures for our own health and be in control of our own health and be able to have alternatives that don't give us side effects and that we can trust. So right now, we are that for so many people. My dad is a nurse. He has ulcerative colitis. He's been getting transfusions for years and they stopped taking. And right before I started this business, they were going to have to do a full, I never can say the word right, elastomy, whatever, bag, all of it. My dad is an avid cycler. He's a drummer. It would crush his world if he had to do that, but he's lived in pain for so long. I asked my dad to try the full spectrum with the collagen and to give it 30 days and tell me how he felt. And in that 30 days, actually in week 3, he went to the doctor for another transfusion where he was expecting them to say, "We've tried everything. This one's not working either. It's time to make that appointment." This was 2 years ago. And instead, he walked in there and they said, "I don't know what you're doing, but don't stop doing it." Because I'm like, I have goosebumps all over my body and tears coming in my eyes right now because your body's accepting it. So don't stop. And I was like, there's another reason. There's something for the entire family. I can help my kids with their anxiety and their focus. I can help them. I can help myself. I can help my dad. I can help my grandparents. I can help my dog. My dog got 6 extra months of living comfortably because of our tincture that I was able to give her. And that is why this is so huge. It's the timing and it's the fact that it's a consumable. It's not going anywhere. People get them every month. We have a 73% customer retention rate, which is huge. Everyone has an endocannabinoid system, and even animals. Shelby kind of touched on that a tiny bit. The endocannabinoid system is a main system in your body that helps to control all of the systems. It basically looks like a parking lot. And when you have things from stress and the environment and all of that, it actually depletes. So if you think of like a nutritional gap, let's say you just eat Doritos for 3 weeks straight, okay? How many nutritional gaps are you going to have? A million. Okay. So let's say you're not feeding into your endocannabinoid system for so long because you don't even know it's there and you don't even know how to do it. And the stress and environment and everything's just pulling from it, right? So what happens is when you take CBD, so cannabinoids are in our entire body. We have receptors all over our body, and the cannabinoids, it's even in breast milk. So like it is when people are weird about CBD and cannabinoids, I'm like, really like let's just get educated on what this really is. But so the CBD, the hemp goes in and it fills in these parking lots. So some people have a lot of empty lots. Some people don't. Regardless, so some people think CBD is like I'm going to take it and my headache's going to go away and that's oh it doesn't work. Or it works. It doesn't work that way. It comes in and it fills the gaps. And the more you stay on it and the longer you continue to supplement for your body that we're not getting it anywhere else, then your body is able to fill those. And when those parking lots are full, you're able to feel your best, most vibrant self. Sometimes it takes a few months for people to feel that way. Sometimes people continue. I still, to this day, 2 years in, am still all of a sudden like, wait a minute, I had this patch of skin on my leg that the hair started growing the opposite direction. It started growing quicker than the rest of the hair on my leg, and it would itch every single day for years. I went to the dermatologist. Nobody could tell me anything. They gave me some topical ointment that was BS, and I didn't even use it because I was like, you don't even know why you're giving this to me. You don't know what it is. So why would I do that? We have CBG in our collagen, which hair, skin, nails, but it goes beyond that to tissues and bones and arthritic pain and all of this. About 6 months ago, I was shaving my legs and I was like, wait a minute. When was the last time that itched and where is that even at? Like it, what happened? So it's amazing the things that it just quietly heals you. People think I'm going to take this and I'm going to feel something. They're scared of feeling high or they're scared of feeling a psychoactive effect or they want a big impact where this is a silent healer where it's coming in and it's just slowly hugging you from the inside out. And it's changing lives and it's changing families' lives and it's so amazing, even animals. Our quality, you guys heard all about that from Shelby, so I won't continue on that. But the standards, the quality, everything is huge. We actually sit on the board for I can't think of what it's called right now. Shelby?
Farm Bill.
Yes, for the Farm Bill. There we go. And to set the bar and the standard for what hemp should be in the United States. Our compensation plan is amazing. It rewards people as a direct sales business or as an affiliate marketing plan. A lot of people want to share a link, and you do that at other places, and you get like 10%, 5%. 13%. Here you get 20% immediately upon a certain amount that you sell or upon your first rank advancement, you go to 30% commissions for good. That's insane. You sell one thing, you get 20 to 30% commission. So you can build a team, you can do it like an affiliate, you can do whatever you want. We're just glad that people are spreading the love and feeling good. And even if it's just for you to feel good, we love that. You get advocate enrollment bonuses when people enroll. You get a residual income paid on all of the volume, where a lot of companies only pay on a certain amount of volume. You have to balance them, or you only get paid on certain volumes based on where you hit as rank. But with us, you get paid on all of the volume. Check matching bonuses. So you are getting, if you have people that are just you've helped that have created big organizations under you, you're getting matching bonuses from them of 5 to 10%. You get a placement suite, which is my favorite thing in the world, where you're able to gift people um, volume to help them hit ranks. An example is my friend Abby. She was $400, 400 points PV away from hitting the top 1% of the company, getting her family a $1,500 bonus. And it was like the last hour of the month. And I was able to move over a couple of my hobby advocates and put them under her to support her, where they're still mine, but their volume is supporting her. And it was able to push her over. We celebrated her hitting director. She got a $1,500 bonus, and I felt like I can actually help people here. I didn't feel that at my previous place at all. Placement Suite's amazing. Clean start bonuses for your first 2 months. There is an opportunity to earn up to $6,700 in bonuses alone. I'm going to say that again, bonuses alone, because then there's the commission and there's enrollment bonuses that you can get on top of that in your first 4 months, which is awesome. So with that being said, you guys, we are here tonight because we really just want something for everyone. We don't want anything from everyone. So we just want it for you. We want you to enjoy your life, whatever that looks like, whether that's, being a part of Green Compass or not. So any questions that you have, I just want you to, I always leave with this. Once upon a time, 13 years ago, I think it was, when I first started thinking of going outside of the box and having multiple streams of income. I remember hearing this quote and it sat with me and I was like, okay, like I have to do something. And the question and the quote or the question, whatever it is, was with everything that you felt inside of your body today, maybe there was one thing that gave you some inspiration, maybe there was all of it, maybe it was nothing, right? With what you felt and what you heard today, if you leave this call today and you do nothing with it, what will your life be like in 2 years? What will your life be like in 5 years? And are you okay with it? And if the answer is no, and this seems like some place that you could align with, then ask so many questions. Get on a phone call one-on-one with the person who invited you, ask the questions, learn everything you can, make that educated decision because people are actually joining us every single day. We have the best team. We are actually led by there's quite a few of us that were six-figure and above earners in other companies that have come here and created a system and training and soft place to land. But even if we didn't do that, the company itself, from the founder all the way at the top, has already created that. And that's not something a lot of places can say. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And if anybody has any questions, we can answer those. Otherwise, if you guys are no questions, you can jump off. You feel free to have a great night. And we are just so grateful that you spent your time with us because I know how valuable time is. And I'm really grateful I got to spend it here sharing this today too. Shelby, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I am gonna just like throw this out here. I don't know if you've seen your email yet, that Meredith sent all of us an email that we're in Cabo. And if this doesn't like even like Casey and Amy, you weren't there either, but like if this doesn't tell you where we're at and that we are seen, felt, heard, and loved. It says, Dear Cabo champions, there are moments that you can't recreate, the core memories that are remembered and carried with you, and I believe that Cabo was one of those moments. Sitting poolside, the sun shining, ocean waves crashing, and the sounds of all of you together, these are core memories created a tangible shift. We didn't just gather to celebrate success, we came together as leaders who believe in what's possible. We looked each other in the eyes and got honest about who we are, where we're headed, and what it's going to take to get there. We talked about weakening that muscle that whispers we can't do that and strengthening the one that boldly states we can and we will. And in that moment, I felt something powerful. I saw the belief, the courage, and the heart that built this movement. And that's what makes Green Compass different. That's what makes you different. As the storm rolled in last night, I couldn't help but think that storms don't stop champions. They shape them. And that's exactly who we are. We are the voices that rise above the noise, the ones who lead with conviction when others hesitate, the ones who turn possibility into progress. Only those who were there will ever truly know what we created together, but the ripple of that energy will be felt well beyond Cabo. It will show up in your teams, your voices, your actions, and your belief. Let's carry that fire forward. Let's move with urgency and purpose. Let's remind the world that we are a people-powered brand built on heart, truth, and relentless belief. Together we can, and together we will. With gratitude and conviction, Meredith Cook. Like, she's the founder and CEO, and she like this is just straight up from her to those of us that were there. This is not like I just got chills too. This is not a call it what you like. People will say, oh, it's an MLM, it's a scam, it's a pyramid scheme. Like you can call it whatever the heck you want to call it. Um, I call it a movement. Like we are going against something right now that is so much bigger than you and me and Lindsay and us sitting on this call right now. Like it goes above and beyond all of that which is, and and she's doing it with grace and love and all of our support, and we are there to back her. And so joining something like this, you're not just joining a scam, a pyramid scheme. You're joining like an honest to God movement that is changing lives, and it's changed our lives from a product perspective, but also from a business perspective. And to get to say that you're a part of that, like Lindsay said, in this timing of this S curve of it's off the ground and we're moving in a certain direction, now is the time. You don't want to look back 3 years from now and say, wow, I wish that could have been me. Like there's nothing worse than that. So I
Okay.
just wanted to share that. So
Shelby, that was a firework ending right there. I
I was so
loved it.
excited because I saw the email come through. So I was like, oh, I'm going to read this.
I loved it. Thank you so much. All right, awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording. And if you have a question, you can stay on. Otherwise, have a great night. Feel free to message your advocate that invited you one-on-one. And, however this serves you, even if it was just a little bit of love and inspiration, we're so glad you were here, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. That's what I say, but where's the recording?
It's up in the top right corner.
What is
You,
happening?
it says recording.
We'll get there.